This is a diffraction grating I purchased off eBay. It says it's 1,000 lines, I think it is, per millimetre. That's a lot of lines. You can't really see them if you're looking through them, but you might see some of the reflections off there. I have a light LED, well, lights on the camera and another light, a few other lights above here. That's just a reflection. Okay, and it does have this sort of colour gradient here, so it refracts the light. It's a bit like a raindrops for a rainbow, I suppose. It's splitting up the light. What appears to the human eye to some extent as white light here, just normal white light, pretty much normal like white light LEDs I'm using. I think they're a bit more blue. And it splits up the colours into the frequencies as indicated by this measurement on the bottom here. I've been playing around with this a bit, and here's a video about playing around with it. But I built this almost holder here, which has a tube, which a bit fiddling about sometimes to get that in there. I can slide a bit backwards and forwards. This is like a holder for this diffraction grating. Let's turn it that way. It doesn't matter, I don't think it matters which way it's facing actually. Okay, and that holds this diffraction grating. Then I can put this top on here. Now I've done two tops, I'll do two tops. One has this like a sighting thing you can look along and line up this unit with. Right, I'll screw this together, and there's also this plate which is to protect this diffraction grating. Now I can't remember the price of these, but they're not overly expensive, but that will protect that against fingerprints or knocking to a certain extent. Now that could fall out, to be honest with you, but I'll screw this together, then I'll show you looking through it. So first of all I'll show you around it. Some texture on there and some, don't know if you can read that, do not look directly at the sun, basically. Now with this, when I printed out this, I had to file the edges down here. It seemed to be sticking up a bit to get this tube in, which is, I say, a little bit of a fiddle. Might have filed it a bit too much here because it's a bit loose, that, but that's okay. I'll get this screwed together and I'll show you this. So that's from the front. And talk a little bit more about it. Okay, show you around a bit. So this texture was to help you grip it, but I would say you can hold it like this. So there we are, put 3 button-headed Allen bolts in there. Now there's 2 tops to here, one which has a hole in for another button-headed Allen bolt there to put this sight on if you want this sight on. There's no need for it really, but that's just to sight the light that you're looking at. Now notice the angle on here. Although the front is here, which as I say can be protected by this plate. Protect the diffraction grating there. But this angle is how you want to be looking at the light. You want to be either sighting it along the edge, doesn't matter which edge actually, or along this sight on here. Really this sight isn't needed to a large extent. Then you've got the tube to look into. Okay, now I'm going to try and show you looking through this tube just now. Let me get pointed at a light source. Well, I've got this sort of table lamp thing here. Turn this on, watch out for the light. This is quite yellowy to the eyes, this light. Now, as I say, you don't look straight down. If I look straight down, just a second, it's going to be quite hard to do. See, we don't see much. But if I tilt it so that the edge of this is pointing, or using a sight here, pointing towards the light, now you can see the rainbow. I think my camera's having a hard time to focus on this. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's better than this in real life. Okay, and it doesn't matter which edge. If I look down this edge, I line this edge here up with that light. I think it's an LED bulb. If I can get this, I think. It's extremely difficult to do this, to be honest with you. There we are, that's a bit better. But as I say, if I don't like this, you can see that you get, let's take this tube out. You get the rainbow impact. I'll show you another light source. So this is going to dazzle the camera out a bit. This, I think it's a 12 volt 40 watt LED you have there. Again, I've got the tube in here. Might be able to make out some of the colours there, especially if I tilt it down so it reflects off this blue plastic I've got here. PLA. Let me have a look through. Again, I'm pointing the straight edge here pretty much towards this big LED I showed you. Get that really close up. I've got the tube on here. But the focus of the camera, I find it difficult to focus on that, I think. Right, I've tilted this LED, this big, it is a bit, well, it's very bright, this LED. It's at least 20 watt, 12 volts at least. I use for video lighting. I've tilted it, you may be able to tell I've tilted it to try and cut down some of the light. I'm trying to get this into some sort of focus here. Try and get better. But in real life it is much better than what the camera can show. You get some of the colours there possibly. Again, can you see I'm pointing this over there and the LED itself is over here. Again, this edge here is, in this case, is lining up pretty much with the LED, see? Right, that's just to hold this. Now you can get Arduino sort of colour detection things. I don't know how well one of those would do. I think they're mainly to detect sort of red, green and blue. I don't think they're meant to be all that good. Oh, by the way, you can do vertically and point it down at an LED, well, a light source, and get the rainbow effect. Yeah, Lord, sorry about this, but the camera just can't cope with. This is something I'm working on, my shredder.